I knew I was going to be a comedy writer since I was about, or was going to be somehow involved with comedy writing. Since I was about 13 or 14, I started doing it religiously, and it was my passion. And got to college and thought I was going to be just a humor writer, and I immediately started writing a humor column for the paper there. And then during my first year of college, I started kind of I don't know if dreaming is the word, but becoming obsessed with maybe I could perform it, which for me was weird because not only was I a little shy, but I had never been on a stage in my life. Like I'd never even set foot on a stage. I was horrified by the idea of it, but I wanted to perform the comedy I was writing. And so then after my first year at college, I started doing some stand up wherever I could, open mics and things like that, and kind of went from there. While I was in college, I would ask when we'd have big stars to the campus. I would ask them if I could open, and almost all of them said yes. So I ended up opening for like Jimmy Fallon and Louis Black and
Wow.
Tracy Morgan and all these guys. So that was pretty cool. And then immediately, so after my second year of college, I knew I just wanted to do stand up, and I moved to New York after college.
Cool. Very cool. Do you have a favorite New York comedy club?
The one I'm at the most and enjoy the most right now is the Comic Strip, which is a great club and really high quality acts kind of on a regular basis. I mean, other clubs, several other clubs, they'll have like headliner acts, and so it's like if you want to go see whoever it is, Louis C.K., then go to Caroline's and you pay good money, but you get to hear a lot of Louis C.K. or whatever. But if you're just looking for a general show, I'd say the Comic Strip or Comedy Cellar's also a great one, although I'm not there pretty for the most part.
Yeah, I like the comic strip.
So anywhere I'm not is awful.
True. Very true.
Do you ever make it out to the Midwest?
Well, I've done tons of colleges out there. I actually spent a month touring mainly Wisconsin. I did 22 colleges in 21 days, all over Wisconsin, because Wisconsin is heavy on the colleges.
Yeah. Well, that's the first time I saw you was in La Crosse, when the building almost burned down.
Oh, well, I didn't know you were at that show.
Yeah, I went to UWL.
Yeah, I kind of knew that. I knew you were at the we were about to start the show, and then the room filled with smoke.
And nobody moved.
Yeah, no one moved, and they evacuated everyone, and then like an hour later they started the show. It was kind of a chaotic show. I'm impressed you saw that one and thought this guy might be funny.
I'm not entirely in the loop on this alternative comedy thing that I've been hearing about. Can you explain that to me?
Well, you're not entirely out of the loop either. I assume you've heard of Dimitri Martin and Zach Galifianakis,
Yeah,
Sarah Silverman.
sure.
So I mean, it's a false term because the truth is there are a lot of alt comics that do fine in regular clubs. Like, some of them transcend both sides. I mean, I think a lot of your average clubs, Dimitri Martin would do fine in, and so, but there are some kind of unique comics that kind of they came up and they stick to that the I don't know if you want to call them underground rooms. They're kind of smaller rooms. They're not in comedy clubs. They usually only have a show once a week, or maybe even if it's every night, it's not like billed as like come here to see comedy. It's like come here to see a specific kind of comedy, or burlesque shows, or it's just kind of all over the map. And in a lot of ways, it allows for a lot more freedom. I mean, people are able to do more unique stuff. You can have sketches, you can have music, you can have video, and it's not viewed as weird or anything. So it's definitely a little bit of a different world. Uh, but like I'll play some alt rooms, and in about half of them I do fine. Like my stuff is perfect for that room or whatever. And then in half of them they hate me because I don't have the as Provenza would put it, the ironic distance from my material. Basically, you can't. There's a lot of comedy out there nowadays that's kind of ironically distant from or apathetic from what's really going on in the world, and that's kind of expected.
Okay. So does this mean that at some point, PowerPoint comedy could come into fashion? We've got.
Oh, we're almost there.
Oh, jeez.
I, I mean, There's shows I've seen in the alt rooms where it's kind of like, actually, I mean, it almost is PowerPoint comedy. It's like one guy that's quite funny. He like puts the what is it? It's like the worst book covers that he's found, and so he'll flip through slides of the like worst book, and some of them are just amazing. But but yeah, so there's a lot of that kind of thing going on, and I don't know. I mean, some of it's cheesy, some of it's kind of just novelty for novelty's sake. But a lot of it's pretty good.
Do they have like a slide that says "laugh here" and then they go to the next slide?
Yes, it's all done with slides. Yeah.
Cue
Well,
cards.
look. Please, audience, look ironically distant at this point.